Welcome to This Is True Really News. Coming up today, we're back in Ohio.
You got a thing for Ohio, dude.
Apparently I do this week. I don't know what's going on. But, first...
I mean, Toledo's nice.
I've got a...
Hey.
Then there's Dayton.
Dayton's lovely. Columbus isn't bad. It's got that
Cincinnati?
dumbass university, though.
Cincinnati?
No. Columbus.
No.
The only time I root for Michigan. Only time.
So, hey, let me confess to something. I did something.
And yes, actually, Cincinnati would be fine, but the radio's not very good.
Boy, you're right. So, yesterday I was reading for a client, and they were
You can read?
Yes, sure. They were talking about.
I didn't know you had blind clients.
A new dessert at their deli.
Hang on. He does commercials for a living, so he was reading a commercial for his client.
Yes, and
or some such.
And I was talking about.
He tried to read the Playboys for Hugh, but the pictures were very hard to describe.
Master, you've lost your arms, but you've grown a nice pair of boobs. Robin Hood, Men in Tights. Google it. Actually, that's one you YouTube. In any case, I was reading this thing, and they were getting into very sumptuous description, and so I was following the directions, and I actually came up with, and a decadent squirrel of decadent squirrels. What do you suppose he's wearing? It was supposed to be a decadent swirl of caramel.
That's as bad as the local favorite is like garlic chicken. Do they make the chickens eat the garlic?
First, it's the best way to do it.
Nice.
And in any case, please like and subscribe to This Is True Really News. Like, subscribe, and follow to This Is True. Like, subscribe, and follow This Is True Really News. I didn't need the two. That's a
we've only done this for 42 years. I mean,
and comment if you care to. If you don't care to, don't comment, because then it'd just be stupid. And then send us any stories you'd like us to go over at TITR@netradio.network.
Well, that wasn't painful.
But it was short
for us.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
Florida man. My sister-in-law likes Florida man stories.
Oh, Michelle sent you another one, did she?
Yeah. First we had the butt wipe.
Really? Aren't they all butt wipes?
Well, I suppose in the Spanish way, it would be the aswipe, but yes.
Patrick, ask your son. He'll know.
He'll explain it too. Yeah.
I think he was a Spanish major or something.
Okay, I have a question. Is this weird? Because I don't know how I can find the story for this.
Okay.
But the headline read, "Man beats father to death with coffee mug." That's the kind of stuff my sister-in-law finds.
That is weird.
Yep. Now we have a Florida man. She also finds a lot of Florida man stuff.
Okay.
Considering she's never lived in Florida.
Has she even been there?
Well, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they did live for years in Alabama, so I suppose they just drove over. A Florida man, he said for the fourth time, was attacked by a rabid otter. Nope, I'm seeing the connection now. She's into otters.
That's it. Because she's been doing otter stories.
Otter. We had the otter, yeah.
The surfing otter.
The rabid otter bit him. 41
That's bad.
times the otter bit him.
Oh, good Lord.
This was not a planned attack. This was rage.
Otter rage. It's the worst kind.
It wasn't. Oh, he wasn't done. He later actually attacked a dog walking by with his family.
Oh,
and the dog won't back down. That's the scary part. Anyway, Joseph Scallione was feeding the ducks and geese near his Florida home in Jupiter home in Florida.
Might as well be on Jupiter.
Near his home in Jupiter, Florida. When suddenly all the birdies took off. Zoop. Now, if you've ever watched any sort of suspense or horror movies, when the birds are all doing something weird, run.
If they get quiet, if they fly away, you have a problem.
Scallione said he noticed a brown head sticking up over the bank of the pond just behind his home, but didn't realize at first that it was an otter, according to WPBF. That's West Palm Beach, Florida. West Palm Beach, Florida, WPB. I've got it. Scallione said he slowly backed away. Oh, never slowly back away. Toward the gate to his property, but as he started to close the gate, the otter attacked. The 74-year-old stumbled and fell. The otter bit him 41 times on the legs, hands, and arms in an attack lasting several minutes. He finally escaped the otter by grabbing it and throwing it away from him, allowing him time to get to safety and then eventually get medical treatment. He said, my pinky is the worst. I have 2 puncture wounds. I'm not sure if it goes right through or whatever. One is on the corner of where the cuticle is. Ow.
Those hurt.
So later that same day, I mean, once you've tasted human blood, the only thing better is dog. However, later that day, a couple in the same neighborhood walking with their baby and family dog when the same otter attacked the dog. Other residents were finally able to capture the critter by putting a recycling bin over it.
I was going to say, why capture it? That one you kill.
I knew there was a reason we had recycling bins.
To recycle our rabid otters.
That's it. There's no other use. And animal control.
Yeah, well, you put your plastic in and 95% of it doesn't get recycled. Those are the numbers.
I know.
Sheesh.
An animal control officer released the otter, then recaptured it with a net. Well, how are you going to get? It's not like you can shove like a sheet of paper under there. And the officer reported the otter was baring its teeth and biting at the metal carrier. Test confirmed the otter was in fact rabid. Scallione is undergoing treatment for rabies. Those are never fun.
No.
He has a visit to a hand surgeon scheduled next to see if they can fix if there's any permanent damage. The condition of the dog attacked by the otter wasn't immediately known.
And
so
the family is probably absolutely beside themselves.
That's got to be traumatizing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Poor Pooch.
Poor old guy. Dude, we're old guys.
Oh, that's right. Poor old guy. Hell would
have been us.
In Ohio, a Dayton what?
That's like the movie, is it the movie that talks about the family gets caught in a forest fire, and at the end, it has this great way to go, first responders, we love you dearly, and then it tells us how many trees are generally consumed in forest fires without, how many lives lost.
I love that sort of stuff. Yep.
That's how stupid we've become. Sorry.
In Ohio, a Dayton Public Schools employee has resigned. Resigned, I say.
Has he resigned?
Yes.
I thought I heard that.
After being caught on video striking a 3-year-old special needs student.
Oh, dude, bad form.
Video shows Braylon Tootle, who is reportedly autistic and nonverbal, running down the hall as the employee, who hasn't been named, chases after him. The employee caught up to Braylon and struck him in the back of the head, knocking him down. The employee then picked the boy up by his feet, carrying him away, dangling upside down. Braylon's parents said they were told only that the incident with their child had taken place, and it took them almost a month to get a copy of the video. The police department said it has presented its case to local prosecutors. In a statement, the school system said it's working to make sure, quote, employees are properly trained and qualified for their positions.
One would think that would be one of the basic necessities you'd have already done.
In an effort to prevent such incidents from occurring in the future. How about the present? How about making sure they aren't psychopathic? How about that?
That's a nice start. Calm down. Someone sent me this story from May.
Okay.
It was a CNN story. You know how sometimes things just don't hold up well as time goes on? Not a moment too soon, Oscar Mayer announced in May 17th it's changed the name of its iconic Wienermobile to the Frankmobile. This is why CNN is.
Man.
The company says the name changing pays homage to its new recipe for hot dogs, which roll out this summer.
An era has ended.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. Hang on. Company spokesman said the change is a test. They'll have to see if it cuts the mustard with fans.
Oh, Lord.
It didn't. 2 weeks ago, it was back to being the Wienermobile. The Wienermobile first appeared in 1936. 23 of those rascals now travel the country. That was one of 2 cars I thought would be cool to drive.
And they are not. I know guys who've driven.
No, they're a beast. But just as a kid, when you see it,
yeah.
I mean, we're talking the Batmobile.
Yep. And the Wienermobile.
That's it.
Or the Monkey Mobile for just a brief second there.
Okay, the Monkey Mobile would be cool, but only if I get the Monkey Men cape. That's the only reason I kept watching them show when I was a kid.
A former Wales international rugby player has experienced a bizarre few hours when customer calls to UK retailer Next were diverted to his mobile phone.
That would be bizarre, even for a rugby player.
Relative of mine, Andrew Coombs. That's like 2/3 of my name, practically. Right? Except it's spelled Coombs, but likely he's a relative of some sort.
Well, yeah, if your dad wouldn't pay for the T,
he's not going to pay for 2 O's.
Why 2 O's? We don't need them.
Who played for Wales in the 2013 Six Nations Championship?
Is that a question?
No.
Oh, that's part of the story.
Andrew
again.
Coombs, who played for Wales in the 2013 Six Nations Championship, took to social media to ask for help after receiving hundreds of calls from customers who thought they were calling a member of the staff at Next. In the first video he posted, a man calls who he thinks is the Next call center to complain about a delivery driver and an item he has ordered. But on the other end of the phone is Andrew Coombs, who tells him, "You've actually come through to a Next customer. I've got an issue on my phone whereby they're diverting all their calls to me." He continues, "I am having a serious issue, mate. I had about 100 calls in the last hour off Next customers." In a post to X, later, formerly Twitter, Andrew took to the platform to share the good news that his shift at Next has finally come to an end. He wrote, "Thankfully, at Next official have managed to stop their call center calls being diverted to my mobile. It was an interesting experience being part of their team for a few hours." I think he'd rather go play international rugby at his age and in his condition than do that again.
I don't know. For a minute it'd be fun because you could probably mess with people.
You could have a good time. Have you unplugged it? Have you plugged it back in? Have you started it?
I would question a lot of, is Next really have a great business model going?
Well, if you can get rugby players to cover your,
I suppose,
your customer calls, I think you're in. People have to get used to the language.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.